Hello everyone, welcome back to the Love in Riyadh show. Today is May 25th and today's episode is one for the books. Today we've got two stories that got people talking for completely different reasons. One is all about ambition, hard work, and making history. The other is about art, representation, and a debate that exploded online. So let's get into it. First up, a huge moment for Saudi football. If you followed Saudi football over the last few years, then you already know the name Saud Abdul Hamid. But this week, his story reached another level. Saud has officially become the first Saudi player to win the French Cup, adding another historic achievement to a career that already seems packed with milestones. What makes his story even better is that years ago, someone actually caught a glimpse of the mindset that got him here. Back when he was playing for Al Ittihad, Saud was seen reading a book called Winning Everything. According to the story, a photographer jokingly teased him about the title and his ambitions. Saud simply replied, "With time, you'll see it." At the time, it probably sounded like a confident young player speaking about his dreams. Today, it sounds more like a prediction because when you look at his journey, it's pretty incredible. He won domestic titles in Saudi Arabia, became a key player for the national team, and was part of one of the most memorable moments in Saudi football history, the national team's victory over Argentina at the 2022 World Cup. But Saud didn't stop there. He took a step that very few players are willing to take. He left his comfort zone and moved to Europe, where competition is tougher, expectations are higher, and opportunities have to be earned every single day. There were no guarantees. But instead of being satisfied with what he had already achieved, he decided to challenge himself. And now, years later, that gamble is paying off. Not only has he made history by becoming the first Saudi player to win the French Cup, but after an impressive season, Lens have also decided to continue their journey with him by extending his stay until 2029. That's a major vote of confidence. And honestly, whether you're into football or not, there's something inspiring about this story. It's a reminder that big goals can sound unrealistic when you first say them out loud. But sometimes the difference between a dream and an achievement is simply refusing to give up on it. Now, speaking of things getting people talking online, let's move to our second story. A creative campaign ahead of the 2026 World Cup has sparked a pretty interesting conversation across social media. Fox Soccer recently launched a series of artworks inspired by the cultures and identities of participating countries. Naturally, one of those illustrations represented Saudi Arabia, but it didn't take long before people started looking a little closer. Users online quickly noticed that the artwork was created by a Russian artist based in Riyadh rather than a Saudi artist. And that discovery sparked a wider discussion. A lot of people on X began asking questions about cultural representation in global campaigns. Some argued that when a country's culture is being showcased on a global stage, local artists should be given priority because they bring a deeper understanding of the traditions, symbols, and identity being represented. Others pointed out that art is often international and that talented artists can appreciate and depict cultures outside their own backgrounds. But the conversation didn't stop there. People also began analyzing details within the illustration itself. Some users pointed to elements like a two-humped camel and banana trees, questioning whether certain details accurately reflected Saudi Arabia and whether they represented the country's culture in the best possible way. as often happens online, what started as a piece of artwork quickly evolved into a much bigger discussion about authenticity, representation, and who gets to tell a country's story. And honestly, it's one of those conversations where people seem less focused on the artwork itself and more focused on what it represents. Should local talent always come first when representing a country's identity? Or is creativity something that can cross borders regardless of nationality? That debate doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. And that's all for today's episode. From Saud Abdul Hamid proving that ambition backed by hard work can turn into history, to a World Cup artwork sparking a conversation about culture and representation. It's been a week full of stories that got people talking. That's it for today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for tuning into the Love and Riyadh podcast as part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcast from.